Welcome everyone to episode 19 of This Week in Geek. We got a lot to talk about this week as the MCU just dropped a major bombshell on us. And no, we're not talking about the Thor Love and Thunder anymore. We're talking about the little superhero that could. Ms. Marvel just finished its hopefully first season. And it just decided to drop a big old bomb that changes the MCU forever. And if you are joining us live, or if you are joining us on the replay, or if you are joining us on our podcast feed on Spotify, thank you so much for joining us. In case you're new to the show, here's how it works. We're going to run down through our weekly ranking, which is we rank everything that we watched throughout the week. Right after that, we're going to move on to our main topic of discussion. And this week, it is the big word that Bruno Corelli dropped on his best friend at the end of season 1 of Captain Marvel. And finally, after that, we're going to go into your questions that you leave on our community tab on the post regarding the show. So without any further ado, Zach, do you want to get started with your weekly ranking first?
Yeah. So I've been definitely watching a lot more TV than movies lately. It's just
All right.
that's kind of like where I'm at right now. So coming down at the bottom of what I watched this week is Where the Crawdads Sing. I still think this is a decent watch. I like this movie. The only reason it's down at the bottom is because there's a lot of amazing TV I watched this week, like flat out a lot of amazing TV. So that's why it's at the bottom. Nothing in particular. It's just a movie I'll probably never watch again, but I liked it. I think book fans are going to like this movie. Other people might think it's a little bit slow and generic, but I think Daisy Edgar Jones is the reason to go see this film. So that's why it's at the bottom. Coming up next is Only Murderers in the Building's brand new episode. I am absolutely obsessed with this season. I fucking love this episode. And overall, it was just like this season is really good. I'm so happy Amy Schumer's barely been in it so far. Because when she's the worst part, but this episode was great. Did you watch it yet, the new episode? Or
I have sir.
Okay, excellent episode. So I really liked it. Coming up next would be Miss Marvel's finale. Now, while I still wish this show had like 2-3 more episodes, they pretty much ended this finale in the best way they could, gave me all my answers, while as well as dropping a bomb that literally made me speechless. I literally sat there, my jaw was hanging on the floor. And it took me a good 5 minutes to get up and go actually start filming. So really love that. And I had a lot of blast with this finale. I hope we get a season 2. I am more excited for Captain Marvel 2 than I have been ever. So Kamala Khan, I love this character. I really am into this. So up next is the next episode of Westworld. Really dug this episode. This is my favorite episode they've done in quite a while. Okay, so I won't talk much about spoilers then, but really love this one. And I have heard that this next one coming up from someone who had already seen it is that it's the best one since season 1. So I'll believe it when I see it, but let's see. Up next is The Gray Man. I absolutely love this movie. This is I'm going to see it again in theaters today because there's 2 theaters in Arizona playing it. And I told my fiance, I'm like, we have to go see it. I want you to experience this in the theaters like I did. So I love this movie. Is it tropey? Yeah, you and me talked about that, Ren. It's tropey. Sure, the character's one-dimensional. Yeah, they can be. But the acting is so goddamn good that it really, you kind of just forget about it. Ryan Gosling is that action hero. Chris Evans is just pure chaos and insanity. Ana de Armas, she has an amazing scene towards the end where she sees all these weapons and she goes, I get the big ones. And you know, when Ana de Armas says she wants the big ones, she gets the fucking big ones, and she has some fun with it. So yeah, I had a blast with this movie in so many different ways. So yeah, but at my number 1 for the week, it is the latest episode of Better Call Saul. I saw someone tweet this out, and it might be a little bit disrespectful, but I thought it was very much true. When Bob Odenkirk had a heart attack on set of Better Call Saul, this guy tweeted out, I understand why he had a heart attack, because I had a heart attack watching this last episide. And I had a heart attack too.
Just say you had a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. I was literally on edge the entire time Like, this is the most intense I've felt since the last season of Breaking Bad. And given this is the last season of Better Call Saul, but I was literally floored from top to bottom. And the biggest thing about this episode is the fact of how good the writing is. That 3 of the main characters are in Breaking Bad, and I completely forgot about Breaking Bad, and I'm just like, oh my god, they could die. That is excellent writing for a
You
prequel.
were
So
immersed.
I was totally immersed, and I watched this at like 10:30 at night when I was exhausted, but I knew if I didn't watch it, I'd be spoiled the next day. I fucking love this episode. I love this season. Better Call Saul, as of right now, if it keeps this momentum, if this episode, Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. This will be literally tied with it because everything they've done with the show has been exactly what I wanted. So my number one of the week is that episode. That was one of the best episodes ever.
All right. Like you, I didn't watch anything that I consider outright bad this week. But I'm going to start with, maybe surprisingly for a lot of people, Broker. This is from Korean director Hirokazu Korida. This made the rounds at Cannes. It stars Song Kang-ho from Parasite, who played the dad in Parasite. And this is a very nice idea, a very nice conflict, but it just drags on. It doesn't justify its runtime. It's perfectly finely made, but I just didn't find myself emotionally invested or caring. I was curious to see, okay, how do we end up with this promising premise? And it sadly didn't go anywhere interesting for me. Over that, I'm going to have the new Prime Video exclusive, Don't Make Me Go. It stars John Cho and newcomer. This is her debut performance, Mia Isaac. The two are excellent on screen together. While I was watching this film, I thought to myself, oh, this is, like, I'm not going to say greatest movie ever, but this is very confidently going to land in my top 20 of the year so far, if not top 15. And then 10 minutes before the ending of the film, it takes a turn, which is funny to say because this is a road trip movie. This guy has a brain tumor. He doesn't tell his daughter, but he's going to take his daughter to her estranged mother who left him years ago. You know it's because he has a tumor. He wants to mend that relationship between daughter and mother, but he's not telling his daughter. That's compelling. It's an interesting conflict to have. And then it takes a turn, and I'm like, this is dumb. This is baffling why they made this decision. And in the context of this story, of the story that the movie is telling, it raises a lot of questions. You have to suspend your disbelief a lot. So this is a film that, funnily enough, I'd strongly recommend you all watch. Just turn it off early. Just
and where is this on?
Where is Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
Prime Video. Well, so where I tell you to turn it off is when the two are arguing on the side of the highway. That's when you turn it. After they argue, and after that scene is over, you turn it off. You don't even have to go watch the scene where they sing in karaoke at a bar, because that's the scene where it all turns to shit for me.
Okay.
And I saw 2 people saying that, and I'm like, watching the film, I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. Is this? And I tried to predict where it was going to go. Like, it won't be that bad if that's the decision. I'll understand taking it down a notch, but I don't think it's that bad. And then it's worse than anything I could have predicted. So yeah. Over that, I'm going to have Netflix's Persuasion. Apparently, if you read the book, you won't like this film. And I didn't read the book, so I thought it was quite all right. I gave it 3 stars. It's not like the best thing ever. And by the way, for every review that I don't put up on the channel, you guys can follow me on Letterboxd. My links are in the description below. That's where I rank all the movies throughout the year. That's where I grade them. That's where I review them in text instead of video whenever I don't have time. So Persuasion, there's a quick review right then on my Letterboxd for it. I think it's fine. The fourth wall breaks really work. It gives it this quirky style and energy, and Dakota Johnson is really, really great. Cosmo Jarvis, I'm a big fan of. I just didn't think that this fit. that he fit into the period, and Henry Golding is there to be like a red herring over anything else. So I was disappointed in that. Over Persuasion, I'm going to have Only Murders in the Building. This week's episode really solid, keeps the mystery up, and it's converging like season 1 and season 2 very well. I'm a big fan of where they're going with this, and luckily I still have no idea who
I was about to ask you, do you have any predictions right now?
no
Because I still
clue.
have no
I
idea.
think after this episode, I think it's a woman, but I still don't know who it is.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So over that, I'm going to have Ms. Marvel. The finale really bounced it back for me, like astonishingly how well it bounced back into what made this show so good in the first few episodes before it completely lost track. But I was like, how are you going to bounce back from it? And look at that. Astonishingly so, they did it. So it's a really good finale. One of the better ones. Loki, Moon Knight, this one right up there with the best finales. I'd say Falcon and Winter Soldier, despite being one of the weaker shows, has one of the strongest finales. So yeah. And over that, I'm going to have The Gray Man. I really like this film. I don't know how you don't at least have fun with this film, unless the spy genre is just not really your thing. Then I can understand. This is not a great movie, but it's so much fun and is elevated by the direction and the performances. Really good. And a number one, I started it yesterday, Yellowstone. So I've only seen one episode. It's a 90-minute episode, the premiere of the show, but so far, my God, this show is living up to everything I've heard about it. So that
Still
comes
never
in
seen it.
at my number one. I've only seen one, and I cannot wait to get.
It's my
get
parents'
back.
favorite show. It's the only show they watch week to week.
Yep.
So.
All right. And that is it. That is it in regards to our weekly rankings. Let's see if anyone has shared theirs. All right. Gico EP seems to be the only one, and Gico EP says, my weekly ranking at number 6, Man, I hated this movie. Such a disappointment coming from Ex Machina and Annihilation. I agree. I did not hate it, but I was very, very disappointed. It is not a good movie. Ms. Marvel, finale. Loki finally has a buddy for a good MCU D+ finale. I would put Moon Knight definitely there. And you know how much of a hardcore Moon fan I am. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, the finale at least. The finale, I'd say, is really good. Number 3, The Orville New Horizons. I have not seen this week's episode. Number 2, Only Murders in the Building. Number 1, Atlanta. Wanting to watch some shows before the Emmys. Now is an all-time favorite show. All right, that's good. Eric
great.
Thorpe. Number 1, Westworld Season 4, Episode 3. Number 2, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Number 3, The Boys, Season 3, Episodes 7 and 8. Number 4, Judge Harreel Smoot. Number 5, Ms. Marvel, Episode 6. The appeal of the show is completely lost on me. It's my least favorite Marvel Studios. Oh, that's fair enough. I disagree, but that is very fair enough. I completely understand how in the middle this show lost a little bit of track. So I'm sorry it didn't work as well for you, brother. All right, without any further ado, let's get into our main topic of discussion because after all is said and done, after Kamala is protected by the community she helped protect throughout the show, after she gets her costume, after she gets her name in that beautiful scene with her father, she finds out from Bruno that her powers were not at all figured out. Because apparently she has a mutation. And you hear the... and I love how Kamala just completely underplays it. Because within the MCU, like that means nothing.
Did you read the behind-the-scenes stuff real fast on that?
I have. She was.
Well, no, not just that. When they were filming that scene, it took them 20 tries because you know how Iman
she is a fan, so she reacted.
So she keeps laughing or smiling. So they only got 2 good takes of that scene. I love this, man. I love this choice so much.
It's beautiful. It's kind of poetic how
is.
the
It's full
creator
circle.
wanted her to be a mutant. Perlmutter didn't allow it, and eventually she comes back and goes full circle into being a mutant again. It's really really awesome, and it opens the doors to the future. So
That's why we love
much.
Papa Feige,
So beautiful.
because
Papa
he does
Feige.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
What did
I
you
love
think?
this,
What was
man.
your reaction?
So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, all right, there's like fucking 7 minutes left. So where's Captain Marvel? I mean, Captain Marvel's got to be in the show. Like, there's no way, shape, and form they're gonna end the show and not have Captain Marvel in here. So then they're sitting there. It's like 2 days late. It's like 2 days later, right? I think
A
they said
week,
or two.
I think.
Oh,
1
okay.
week.
So then I'm watching it and I'm like, okay. Then they're talking and I'm like, and I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, he's gonna say Inhuman. Oh my god, he's gonna say Inhuman. Oh my god, he's. Did they just do that sound? Did they just do that sound? Oh my god, they did. Because I replayed it. I rewinded it. I'm like, I gotta rehear this. Oh my god. That was the X-Men 90s theme.
Yeah.
And holy shit, he said mutation. So this is big. And instantly that happened, I had a theory. I had a fucking theory, and I'm gonna tell you my theory, Ren. That bracelet, that thing she has, that is going to be destroyed in Captain Marvel 2. Saying it right now, it'll be destroyed in Captain Marvel 2.
So.
And what will happen is, since that bangle can go through time and space, past and present and future, it's gonna break and activate the mutant gene in everyone else around the entire galaxy, universe, whatever you want to say it is, through time and space, past, present, future, meaning it'll go into the past and activate Magneto. It'll go into the past and activate Charles Xavier. It will activate everyone. So it's like mutants have always.
I don't know how
been
complicated that becomes to convey that to an audience.
To a normal audience.
Even for me. For me, as a diehard.
I don't know, man. I'm just
read about these
spitballing. I mean,
forever.
maybe it doesn't go back in time. I'm just very like I'm very much in the thing of Magneto needs to be from World War II. That's just me personally.
I don't agree, because then he has to be 95, 90 years old at this point. He needs to be from a period of time that a human tragedy happened that allowed him to be exposed to the worst of humanity. So obviously, but all things were equal, I would have him in World War II, obviously. But I mean, if you want to change him to a black character, you pick another tragedy. Lord knows the real world has enough tragedies to be fixed.
True.
If you need to change the origin, if you need to adjust the origin,
maybe they don't go into the past.
He'd still be the same.
Yeah, maybe they don't go into the past then, but I do think that that's gonna be how they bring mutants into the MCU. That's just how it's gonna be done. Because it activated her mutant gene.
I still prefer the multiverse stuff where mutants don't exist here. She's the first, but multiverses are going to collide, and the mutants that were
I like that.
Wolverine, Magneto, blah blah.
I like that, but I'm telling you, I think this is how they're going to do it. I was always on board for the multiverse thing until this. The second I saw that happen, I'm like, they're doing that. I mean, I'll probably be wrong, but that was the first thing that came up, and specifically in the interview with the creator, where she said that bangle activated her mutant gene. So, I mean, if it breaks, she doesn't need it for her powers anymore. And I will also say, I will not be shocked. I want to ask you, do you think they will ever, like, say it breaks? Do you think they would ever switch her powers to where it should be like in the comics, or do you think they just keep it the way it is always?
No, because the bangle activated her powers, so her powers are what they are. The bangle just activated them.
Okay.
So yeah, and they're gonna. The simplest. I'm not saying it's a simple, but the simplest way is to say that whatever version of the X-Men they bring in to the MCU, and obviously it's not going to be the Fox versions, but there's going to be a universe out there where they've existed and now they're coming here because of other things. Those multiverses are going to collide. But clearly, once again, Papa Feige has proved that he has a plan. So I really, really love this choice, because also it's not only that the creator originally wanted her to be a mutant, and now full circle, she is a mutant in the MCU version, but also the But also at one point in the comics, because Perlmutter was the leader at the time, and because Fox had the rights to the X-Men, and Perlmutter didn't want to promote Fox's properties because the movies and the comics have this kind of symbiotic relationship where when a movie is successful, the comics have a little bit of a boom. So Perlmutter didn't want to promote X-Men because they were Fox. So at one point, he gave a real boost to Inhumans so they could replace the X-Men. But guess what? The Inhumans never got that popular. I like the Inhumans.
Yeah. I still think they bring them in eventually, too.
Not
soon, but I think
I thought it more impossible before Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
I did too, 1000%. Second I see Black Bolt, though, I'm like, that eventually they will.
Anything is possible, but I still say don't worry about it, especially now that you've made Kamala a mutant. Like, why bother, or at least why bother having him in there? Just have a out there in the multiverse, these things called Inhumans exist.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you,
these people.
Do you think? So I have a prediction video coming out today about what will be announced at Hall H, and then kind of a discussion of like what might be held for D23.
Mm-hmm.
Since this just happened, and now Comic-Con is next week, do they announce a Mutants film next week?
I think they're going to give us a date. Like, it's no coincidence. Once again, Papa Feige proved he has a plan.
Yeah.
You know? So
for everyone who said he doesn't.
I think we got a release date, and I think we maybe get a director. But at most, we get a release date and a title. And please be X-Men. Just don't call it the fucking Mutants. Particularly because that's not PG-13.
Do you have anyone that you would want to see direct?
Well, the Russos have recently talked about it. They're a really good pick. I don't know if they're my number one. Who else does great with ensembles? I think. Why am I blanking on? Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau, I think, would be a good pick as well. What do you think?
I saw someone say the Duffer Brothers, and I really like that choice.
I like it.
A while ago. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Same as the Russos. Like, if they were announced, I would be like, oh my fucking god, yes. But I'd be like, that's
personally, I don't want the Russos. I would rather them just keep doing different things. I wouldn't mind if they came back to Marvel in a couple years, like still a couple more years, which I guess technically, the Mutants would probably still be a couple more years down the line. But they are called mutants in the X-Men world. They're just X-Men mutants.
I'm just saying, don't call the film the.
Oh yeah. I hope not. I don't want that to be. I had a weird pick. I don't think it will happen, specifically because he's filming a new movie right now, and I don't think it will happen. But I wouldn't mind seeing George Miller tackle a Marvel film, and I think seeing him do like a mutants. But that's just me. I'm really biased him. Brad Bird would be another one that I would fucking love. If they announced him, I would love.
I don't like the George Miller pick only because I think George Miller has consistently very weak characters. He has incredible vision, incredible set pieces, incredible action, but not characters. And the MCU deep stories always excel at characters. Even the worst projects, Iron Man 2, Thor: The Dark World, Hawkeye.
Yeah. It's always the
story
characters
bland, but around. The characters in there, I always have fun with.
Yeah, the only other, I'm trying to think of like another one, because I'm trying to think of a female director that I would like. I mean, I really wanted Regina King to direct Blade. So I mean, if they announced her, like, because look at One Night in Miami. One Night in Miami, though, man, like
one setting. I don't know how big she does. I want to see a little bit. I love One Night in Miami. It was my number 7 or number 8 that year. Best movie of the year. But I want to see her like at least one more where she goes a little bit bigger, and then we have like a progression of how well she can direct the movie depending on the size of the cast, of the scope of the story, etc.
So one more prediction thing for this. So do you think we still get Fantastic Four this next week too, like as an announcement? Or no? Because the way I view it, one's got to be there and one's got to be D23.
I think so too, because that way you have those two big things.
Yeah, unless you have something bigger that you want to announce at D23. You know what I mean? Or vice
Yeah.
versa.
But if you have Fantastic Four and X-Men, then you have two big projects. It won't even make that bad of an impression if you don't announce anything else, because less than 2 months later they have D23, and they can live all the other stuff there,
Yeah.
all the big
I think they're saving the
announcements, all
shows.
smaller announcements, blah blah. Yeah, because then you'll only have like an release dates or cast announcements, but for things we already know are coming, not for new stuff. Like we're finally confirming Fantastic Four, finally confirming X-Men, and that's pretty much enough. Then for D23, you leave to extended announcements for stuff we already know is coming. Maybe for Blade, maybe officially announce a season 2 of Ms. Marvel, season 2 of Moon Knight, season 2 of She-Hulk, because I think it's coming out after She-Hulk already started.
Yeah,
I don't know if She-Hulk will be over by then, but it will have already started.
Okay, fair enough then. I because that's the way I think D23 is going to mostly focus on Disney Plus content, maybe a couple movies, because it feels like that's how they did it the last one. The only big thing I think they announced movie wise was Fantastic Four's director, which was John Watts at the time, which that didn't turn into anything. So
sure.
I'm very interested to see what they announce at Marvel, because now it's starting to come out, and I did my prediction video. I don't even know why I didn't talk about this. Apparently, they're probably going to talk about Captain America 4 there, and I have no fucking idea why I did not put that in my prediction, because that's like the most obvious one. I was thinking Deadpool. I'm telling you, if Deadpool does not fucking show up there, like if I'm sitting in Hall H and Ryan Reynolds does not come out on that stage, I'm walking right out. I'm just, I
can totally see them.
He has
to again be because they just introduced the notion of X-Men, of mutants. Like they've opened the doors for X-Men. They've opened the doors for any X-Men adjacent project.
Yeah,
and who knows? They probably opened the doors for other projects that they couldn't mention before because we didn't know X-Men were already coming.
Do you want them as X-Men first though, right? You don't want solo film for like Storm.
No, we don't need to. Nah.
Would you be okay with them showing up in something else first?
Sure, I guess. Depends on what they're doing in what movie, how does it fit. Because like if you show like, well, it doesn't work with the way they're heading. But
what if it's Deadpool's fault? What if they do the multiverse thing and it's Deadpool's fault while the mutants are there?
I don't know.
I wouldn't like that.
Create a cataclysmic event like that with Deadpool, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the way you want to go. I think the multiversal fuckery that happens that makes all the worlds clash and etc. It's Doctor Strange. He creates an incursion and he's just going to create more, even if accidentally. But that's how I go about it.
I have one more thing, because then we'll move on to the questions for everyone. X-Men 90s theme. We're getting the X-Men 97 show.
We've got it twice by this point in the MCU.
They're using the score.
Same way they did. Same way with they did with the Spider-Man theme that Michael Giacchino orchestrated into Spider-Man Homecoming. They're doing it with X-Men.
So do you think? And I'm not saying this is going to be our X-Men. Do you think X-Men 97 will somehow tie into the MCU? Whether it's a multiverse thing, whether it's not.
So. A week ago, I would have said, no, I think it's going to be just a continuation of that show from the 90s. Now, I can see it somehow, some way tying in. But I think Kevin Feige, like us, he's a fan. He's a smart man in what he does, in how he does things. So the theme in itself is a wink and a nod, because he's not going to just take John Ottman's score, John Ottman's theme for the X-Men movies, which I'm a big fan of. I always listen to it. I love it. But 9 out of 10 people you ask, hey, give me the X-Men theme, they're going to sing. Yeah, exactly. There's no other defining music for the X-Men. Like X-Men and
dude, my whole work was flipping out about that. Besides my manager was like the only one. He was like, he goes, that's how you're gonna announce the mutants into the MCU. I'm like, it's just like, I'm like, it's cool.
It is.
Like, It's small, subtle, and who knew they
What a
would
bomb
fucking
drop.
announce it at Miss Marvel, man? That's why, like, dude, the second I saw that, that's why I typed in our group chat. I'm like, stay the fuck off the internet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had
watch the episode
I had
first.
just gotten to the gym when you sent that message, and I was like, I mean, I knew I was gonna stay away, but even so, at the same time, I was like, yeah, we're gonna stay away.
Because I was like, it's
and I
not
did.
what you think. It's not what you
Yeah.
think. It's way
I
bigger
did
than what you
not.
think
I
it
did
was.
not even get alluded to what it was. So yeah.
And there was no leaks. How awesome is that? I love when we can be fucking shocked and there's not a leak.
Yeah.
Thank you.
True. All right, everyone. That is it for our main topic. That is it for our discussions. For our discussion on Ms. Marvel finally introducing the notion of mutants into the MCU. It's a beautiful full circle blending of real life and the art coming together. Really, really a big fan of this choice. All right, without any further ado, let's move on to your live questions. And our first question comes from Eric Thorpe Reviews, good friend of the show. When do you think is the earliest we could see Margot Robbie return as Harley Quinn? Do you think Lady Gaga's rumored casting in the role, even though it's a different universe, is WB trying to phase out Margot Robbie's version? Answering the second question first, no, not at all. I do not get that impression whatsoever. I could be wrong, but I just don't get that impression.
Look, yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, look at this. We just had Robert Pattinson. We're getting Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in a Flash movie, and Batgirl, and Michael Keaton also in there. They can do multiple characters. I think they understand. Yeah. I think DC understands their audience a little bit faster than Marvel did. Is that people aren't stupid? Like that's my thing. I think Marvel held off on the multiverse stuff for a while because that notion of will audiences understand this, and DC was like, no, they do. They do. It's not hard to understand that you can have multiple different characters going at once. Is it smart? No. But Joker is vastly different than anything else that the DCU has done. So I don't think so. I have a prediction for when we might see her. I literally maybe 2 years. Maybe. I just don't know what you do it in.
Comic-Con is next year. DC is going to be there. Who knows?
That's true. I think they're mostly focusing on Black Adam and Shazam. So I don't know if they would announce. I know James Gunn's going to be at Comic-Con for Guardians most likely. So did they bring him out to announce a new Suicide Squad?
I mean, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear anything. Not necessarily another Harley Quinn starring movie, but hear an announcement about something that involves Harley Quinn.
She could also show up in Peacemaker, though, like season 2. They could bring her in for season 2. So
I agree. All right. Also from Eric Thorpe Reviews, thoughts on the new Rings of Power trailer? I don't know. I'm skeptical and more excited for House of Dragon, but I hope both are great. I love this teaser. It's amazing. It looks beautiful. It looks incredible. I cannot wait for this show. And I cannot wait for the House of Dragon. I wouldn't really compare the two because what we've seen from the House of Dragon is like very small scale, very intimate family drama storytelling, and Rings of Power is just bringing us into a world. So I'd say let's at least wait for the final, I assume, House of Dragon trailer. But I love this Rings of Power trailer, man. What about you, Zach?
So. 2 things. One, did you want to take down Eric Thorpe's thingy?
What?
His comment, his weekly ranking's still up.
Oh, I brought it up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to leave it up or take it. Oh, okay.
Well, on the screen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
sorry,
you're good.
Right.
I just didn't know if you wanted to leave that up or not. Second, I do have 20 questions as well. I remembered to put the thing up. So I do. So I'll start doing my next. I have not watched a single trailer for House of Dragons nor Rings of Power besides the teaser. And I'm going to keep it that way. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to see a single scene. I just, like House of Dragon, I have no idea what the fuck that the show's about. Lord of the Rings,
baby.
Besides that teaser, I don't know anything. All I know is that everyone else is excited, and I'm excited to watch it when it finally comes out, or if they provide screeners or whatever it may be. We shall see. So very excited for that. You want me to do one of my questions next?
Yeah. Go ahead. I completely forgot that we also do it on your page, so I didn't.
You're totally fine, man. The Master of Gaming. Do you think Black Adam is going to be the first film in October to gross $100 million domestically opening weekend? Probably. I don't think anything else bigger is coming out that month.
I don't think so either. I think it has a good shot, unless
I even think
early reviews come out saying it really sucks.
Yeah,
I can totally see it doing.
But I think if it's good, billion.
Exactly.
And I don't think I've told you. I know someone who saw it like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. He went to a test screening. He told me it was pretty much done besides visual effects. But yeah, it's he doesn't like comic book movies, so he was very high on it.
Nice. All right, Lady Erin, what are your thoughts on the live action series of The Last of Us that is coming in early 2023? Are you excited or are you worried about it? We've talked about it extensively before. Very excited about it. The creative team, it being on HBO, it being a show. Cannot wait to see this come to life. Zach?
It's my most anticipated show of next year, and that's saying a lot because Mandalorian looks awesome. I'm sure I've seen glimmers of that leaked trailer just because it's literally everywhere.
I've seen shots.
Yeah,
I don't want to actually watch the trailer until it's glorious.
I just I'll see like a couple seconds here. I'll see a couple like as I'm scrolling, and my curiosity.
But you were at Celebration. You saw it.
I didn't get to see it there. Nope. Very unorganized. Very unorganized festival, and I waited 4 hours.
Jesus.
And still could not get in. And then my friend walked right up to the doors as they were letting people in, like literally just cut the line and got in. He's like, I'm just gonna see, and they just let him in. I'm like, really? That's kind of fucked. But anyways, I cannot wait for the Last of Us show. I'm not nervous. It's literally Neil Druckmann wrote the scripts with an actual screenwriter. You get the showrunner is the guy who did Chernobyl, which I still have not seen, but I've heard amazing things about. And you have an amazing cast. The thing that I'm excited about is to see how they extend this world, because they said that they're extending the series. I did get to find out who's playing David though, so I'm actually really hyped on this.
Hit me in the private chat.
I don't know if you're gonna love the choice, but
doesn't matter if he's cast. I gotta accept it.
Interesting, right?
I really like that.
Yeah, me too.
Really
and then,
because the other person is in it as well, I just don't know the role.
You want to know? I know that one.
Yeah. That's what I was going to guess.
Yep. So the I almost said the name. Because I told him I would not. I told him he has the scoop. He can post it whenever he wants. Who's playing David? If it's true, because he's like, it's 85. He goes, it's 85 because his source, I guess, told him the month they were filming that segment, he was on set for a month, and each episode has taken a month to film. So,
nice.
It makes sense. I love the cat. I love the choice. I know a lot of people
both choices. Particularly the latter. It's very poetic.
It is very poetic. So.
Yeah, it's very symbolic in the way it's cast. All right, what's next, Zach?
All right, so I'm going to do two real fast.
Yep.
Because one we're going to answer real fast. Zach Sietzma has two questions. What are your thoughts on Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank? Are you going to see it if you haven't yet seen it? No, I'm never going to watch that film. You, Ren?
First time I heard about it was last week when someone asked about it. I had no idea what they were talking about. And then this past week, it's an animated movie that is a send-up of Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it's coming out here. And from the quick glimpses I've had of it, I have no interest in seeing it because it looks horrible.
So, all right, his next question is, if you guys could greenlight any film with an infinite budget, what would be your film and who would direct it? I have my choice. I don't know if you want to go first or me.
Go ahead.
All right, so I want a Treasure Planet film with an infinite budget directed by Ren Geekness himself. So that's what I would want.
That's probably what I would have answered. That came nowhere.
I knew. That's why I wanted to answer first, because I wanted to be the one that says it.
Oh, good question. Good question.
You can say the same one.
Nah. That's too drastic. You know what? I want a Nova movie. I don't. Who would direct it? Who would be a great choice to direct a Nova movie? I have no idea.
I think
who I'd pick to direct a Nova
would
movie.
Be really good for a Nova.
Favreau would be good, but he's not like, oh my god, yes, Jon Favreau. You know, Edgar Wright would be good because I want to see him work in sci-fi.
Kaczynski, Joseph Kaczynski
Joe,
would.
yep. Forget Edgar Wright. Joseph Kaczynski to direct another
Yeah.
movie would be fucking awesome.
And who's playing Nova? You can say yourself if you want, but if you had to pick another actor.
If I had to pick another actor, Dacre Montgomery is a phenomenal choice for Richard Rider. Dick Rider. I want to be Dick Rider in the MCU.
Okay.
All right. Lady Aaron, another of Gray Man coming out into select theaters this week. Where does Ryan Gosling's performance in The Gray Man rank in your personal overall performances from him? This is one of those questions that you'd have to give me a list so I can have all his roles in front of me. It's a very, 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 very good performance. Ryan Gosling just owns the screen whenever he's in. Is it better than La La Land? Absolutely not. Is it better than Blade Runner 2049? Absolutely not. I'd say it's a very different performance. It's a very different character, but I'd say it ranges on par with his work in The Nice Guys, even though he's practically the complete opposite of what he is in The Nice Guys. Zach, what about you?
Can you say it one more time?
Ryan Gosling's performance in The Gray Man, where would you rank it amongst his performances?
Honestly, he's done a lot of great performances.
Yeah,
and maybe I'll just be insane for saying I think top 5, like 5. Like I say that because it's not. He's never done action before, right? Unless I'm just.
He has. I mean, Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, but I mean like straight
Gangster
action.
Squad.
I never saw that movie, so.
It's better than people give it credit for.
Yeah,
it's not very good, but it's better.
Yeah, I mean Drive maybe, but it can be counted as that.
Yeah.
But
not better than Drive.
No, so let me say
not
this.
Better than First Man. I forgot First Man. It's not better than that.
So I'll say this, number 5, I think, because I can name 4 easy performances that I like more.
Yeah.
But the reason I put it at number 5 is because this is his first blown out action film, and he is a fucking action hero. I want this guy in more action stuff. Hearing him talk about in interviews how he'd love to play Ghost Rider, I'm like, just cast him. It's okay. Just cast him. His name's Ryan Gosling, and he can do whatever he wants. So
yeah. What's next?
Yeah. Next question we got is Lady Aaron asks, what are your thoughts on the Emmy nominations? If you saw them, any surprises and any massive snubs? What about you, man? Any thoughts for you?
I don't watch the majority of the shows that were nominated. I don't pay too much attention. So I remember Sydney Sweeney got nominated twice. Very happy for her. Euphoria got nominated. Only Murders in the Building got nominated with the exception of Selena Gomez. And I'll tell you right now, I'm a big fan of that show. I got Zach into that show. I know I got a lot of you into that show.
It's really
I wouldn't nominate the performances, any of them, for Emmys. The stuff I watched and got in there, I was like, oh, cool, they're there, but I don't really care for the Emmys too much. Those are my thoughts. Don't have strong opinions on it. Zach?
So it's tough. I definitely think Sadie and Millie Bobby Brown were snubbed. I hands down think they should have been nominated. Other than that, I was actually pretty satisfied with this. Really happy Reese Seahorn from Better Call Saul finally got a fucking nomination. Mm-hmm. Every season of Better Call Saul, she's arguably been the best part of it. And I hope she wins this because this is the last time. This is the last season. So I really hope she gets nominated not nominated. I hope she wins. But it's tough because Ozark, Laura Linney, she's never won either. She's excellent. There's a lot of actors. This is a really good lineup. I was not totally mad at anything. Selena Gomez was another omission that I think should have been nominated. Also, why is Barry in comedy still? Barry should be in the drama series now. That's personally me. The season 3 was a drama.
That one I can accept because it's both. And I finished Barry.
I didn't get to ask you. What do you think?
I really liked it. I think
that ending.
Mr. Cousineau.
Yeah, that ending though.
That completely took him. I love the scenes in the beach.
Yeah.
The visions he has in the beach.
Dude, Bill Hader directed the hell out of that. And then the whole motorcycle scene the moped scene, whenever he's riding.
So good. So fucking good.
Man.
All right. If you guys what's next?
G. Colby, what's a critically acclaimed film from directors you love that you think is overrated?
What's that again?
What's a critically acclaimed film from a director that you love that you think is overrated?
That is incredibly specific. You know what? Get Out. Slightly overrated.
It's fucking
I think it's a
insane.
B plus movie.
It's fucking insane.
It's a B
You like
plus
Us
movie.
more? Do you like Us more?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Us is a B minus movie.
no. I love both those movies. I'm really Jordan Peele's like my vibe.
But that's off the top of my head. If I had a list, maybe I'd go with something else that I think it's more adequate for that.
What's a critically acclaimed film from a director that you love that you think is overrated?
Because that's incredibly specific. That's why it's good. That's why it's
there's probably a Steven Spielberg one that I think is overrated.
Oh, overrated.
Let me see.
Bridge of Spies is underrated, if anything.
The Post too. I like them, but I don't think they're like. Yeah, I guess I'd say those. There's still a lot I've never seen of his. Yeah, I'll just go Bridge of Spies or The Post. It's really tough to do off the top of my head. I could say most of Ridley Scott's films. I mean, if you really Blade Runner, but he's not one of my favorite directors. So,
shut up.
All right,
turn, man. Lady Aaron, last week we lost Yu-Gi-Oh creator Kazuki Takahashi. Did you guys watch Yu-Gi-Oh at all? And if you did, who are your favorite characters and your favorite moments from the show? Favorite character is Yugi. Favorite moments. My favorite moment is one that is fucking hilarious because there's this storyline where these bad guys are using this thing called the Seal of Orichalcos, and it basically steals your soul if you lose, to give energy to this god that they're serving. And there's a duel. One of these guys stows away into Kaiba's private plane. He has a duel with Kaiba, and they use so much energy and so many monsters and whatever that by the time it's over, the plane starts to crash and Kaiba wins. So this guy is basically devoid of energy. So Kaiba gets in a smaller plane within his giant plane, and him and his brother Mokuba go away, and he leaves this fucking guy to crash in his plane that is falling to the ground from 30,000 feet or whatever the fuck. And I fucking adore that Kaiba does not give a shit. That's one moment that really stuck in my memory because I was like, that's insane that a cartoon did this.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Cartoon about playing cards.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I specifically that first season. I really loved that so much. And everything with the tournament and stuff, but one of my best memories of it was seeing the Toon deck for the first time. And being obsessed with having to find. And if I knew we were gonna answer this question, I'd actually grab I have 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Funko Pops. I have the Toon Dragon and I have Dark Magician. But I had there was a kid at my school who had the Toon deck, and I did not.
Oh man!
But I wanted it, so I challenged him to a duel and told him if I win, I get his entire deck. If he wins, he gets my deck. Because I had all the original. Yeah, he lost. I took it, and then he told on me. Yeah, and then he told on me, and I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh. I fucking win. I still have my deck, but he told on me, and I ran the deck home. Like I fucking left school and ran it home because my school, like at the time, was like literally up the hill, like from my house. So I ran down the hill, threw it in the backyard, and just like ran back, all in the lunch period. And then he told me, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So. But karma came to bite me in the ass because when I moved like houses, that deck like gone. No idea where it went, man. I still have my original deck though with White-Eyed Blue Dragon and Dark Magician, but that Toon deck gone, and it still bugs me. And like some days I'm like, man, should I just buy like a new Toon deck? Like I don't need it, but should I spend like $200 and buy a Toon deck?
But do you want it? That's the real question. I'm actually going to ask another one because I know I won't be able to answer it, but you may. Also from Lady Aaron, have you seen the new Resident Evil series on Netflix? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? I have not checked it out. I want to put it on as background noise because I'm really not invested in wanting to watch it, but I'm curious. But what about you? Because I know you're a fan.
No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done watching Resident Evil adaptations. I'm just tired of it. I'm not gonna watch this. I was going to ask for a screener until a good friend of mine, and I don't know if because she didn't do a review of it, so I don't know she wants me to say her name. She told me, do not watch it. It is one of the worst shows I've ever watched. And she's not even a fan. So then I'm like, okay, so it's going to bug me on one part, but how are the fans going to think, you know?
I mean,
so then James...
I've never been a fan, and I've been telling you all for years how the Paul W.S. Anderson movies are some of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, so then James started telling me how bad it was. And then Patrick, good friend of the podcast, watched it, who's the biggest Resident Evil fan I know, and told me flat out is the worst adaptation of the entire of Resident Evil yet. And he started giving me lines of it. And when they start talking about Pornhub in a Resident Evil series...
That I saw.
I'm not... No, I'm done. I'm tired of it. And that sucks because I like Lance Riddick. I think he was actually pretty good casting as Wesker.
What's next?
Next one we got is... Eric Thorpe, if you can make one bad movie into a good movie, what would it be? I would love to see David Ayer's original vision for 2016 Suicide Squad.
Nope. Leave it to die. It's probably an even worse version than the one we saw. Leave it to fucking die. A bad movie that I could turn into a good movie. That's a really good one.
You know what? Mortal Engines. I think Mortal Engines had a really good premise, and it fucking sucked.
I would maybe agree with you if I read the books, and I love the books. I know. I haven't even read these books. I have the first 3 books of what I'm about to say, but I have not read The Dark Tower, the Stephen King high fantasy story.
1000%. I've read the books. I've read these.
And I didn't even hate that movie. That movie is very watchable. It's like the Jurassic World. Well, Jurassic World Dominion is another one. Jurassic World Dominion of that year, where it's like, these are great concepts, great ideas. Why are we cramming it into a 90-minute or however long it was movie? So I'll go with The Dark Tower, and I really need to get on those books because I bought them at the time because I want to get into these fantasy.
That is a great pick because that is absolutely 100%. When that movie was coming out in the runtime, the official runtime came out at like an hour and 25 minutes. I literally knew this movie's gonna be shit. I will say though, there's been rumors that they're trying to get a series off the ground at either HBO or Prime.
Because there were rumors at the time because the movie was going to be the launch of the series. The series was also going to start Idris Elba and Matt McConaughey.
I would have loved that because it is really cool depending on how deep you go into, because it does tie into other Stephen King stuff. Like the Pennywise thing, it's not Pennywise, but it is there. I mean, in Dark Tower, there's even hints of it, that gooey thing. That's it. That's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. So like there's a lot of great things in the Dark Tower series. That's a great choice, man. That was a great choice.
My turn, right? Yeah. What is your favorite book to movie adaptation and your least favorite book to movie adaptation? Again, it's one of those you'd have to give me a list, but I can only assume The Dark Tower is a pretty poor movie adaptation from book to movie. Favorite book to movie adaptation? I'm not a big book reader. I've not read that many books. My favorite book that I've read is American Gods from my favorite author, Neil Gaiman. I mean, if you want to, but that's a much easier answer. But I'll go with American Gods. It's not a movie; it's a show. But still, that's my
answer. I don't really know. I haven't read a book in a while. Gone Girl, I guess. Gone Girl's a great book, and it was a great adaptation of it.
Yeah.
I don't really know a bad book though. Oh, I don't know. Dune was a great adaptation too, so I don't know about one.
Yeah.
All right.
What's next?
Zach Simetsa asks, what do you think Marvel is going to announce at San Diego Comic-Con next week? Now, I have a video coming out at 9:30, so I'm going to relay this
talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, a little bit. But do you have any
thoughts?
A little bit
about that. And next week, the main topic is, because the show comes on before the
It'll
panel.
Be after.
It'll be after. Really?
Yeah, panel. So I won't be on the show next week because I won't. But the panel's at 6 on Saturday, 6 p.m. on Saturday. So unless you switch the podcast to Sunday.
No. The show will be before. Our show.
6 p.m. my time.
6 p.m. your time is... What time is it now on Saturday?
7:53 a.m.
Yeah, so the show, the panel will be after the show.
Mm-mm. No, because 6 p.m. you'll be asleep.
Zach, that's what I'm saying. The show will be long before the panel
Oh,
comes
yeah.
on.
I'm sorry. I for some reason I thought you said the topic of the show is gonna be the panel.
No. The topic of the show will be previeving what the panel
I'm
will
sorry.
be about.
I'm an idiot.
No
I'm an
worries.
idiot. Just listen.
No worries. It's 7 a.m. there. Don't worry. But yeah, the show next week will be about previewing what they're going to present on the panel. So we're going to discuss that plenty next week. So make sure to come back next week for that. And Zach has a video coming out later today. Lady Aaron, how do you guys feel about Ms. Marvel's show having currently at this moment the highest Rotten Tomatoes score in the history of the Marvel franchise when combining both Marvel movies and Marvel TV shows? Don't care. I don't give a shit about Rotten Tomatoes. It just means that a ton of the most amount of people who saw it liked it. That's the thing about Rotten Tomatoes. It's an average. It doesn't mean that everyone gave it a 98%. It just means that overall 98% of people gave it a positive review. But for all we know, their positive review could just be, yeah, it's fine.
3 out of 5.
Like Eric. Eric
yeah.
overall gave it a positive review, but he didn't care for it too much. So that's why I don't like. That's why I don't like Rotten Tomatoes. Zach, you have any thoughts? But good for Ms. Marvel, by the way.
No, not at all. Just congrats. It's a really good show. It was a big surprise for me.
All right, what's next?
G. Colby asks, what are your thoughts on Adam Scott joining Madam Webb? This cast is getting stacked, but even I've seen the cast of great actors being a shitty movie. I'll also add, I don't know if people saw the set photos taking place in the 2000s. So,
yep.
Yeah, I'm tired of Sony taking up good actors for shitty movies. But I will say this, Ren, I'm sure you and me are like, we hope that we see the trailer and go, that looks good. That looks really good.
Hope I see the movie and I'm like, that is good.
Well, that too. But none of Morbius's trailers were good.
I mean, true, but the trailers for the first Venom, I liked.
Oh, you thought? Okay.
I thought. This actually looks okay.
Yeah.
Not mind blowing, but yeah.
I want to ask you. Deep down, do you think Madam Web's going to surprise us or no?
No. And I hope I'm wrong.
About Craven? What about Craven?
Also no. Particularly if that leak we saw a couple of weeks ago is
it's not true. That was fake.
Okay.
That was fake. I asked around on that one.
Okay, so now the question is Craven actually going to be worse than the leak we saw a couple of weeks ago? That's the real question. That's the real question.
They got a solid director in there, man. It's arguably the best director they've had.
I still have to watch supposedly his best movie. I have never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I've never seen it either. So,
all right. Lady Aaron, what was your favorite upcoming movie trailer or movie poster that you guys saw over the week? I don't remember seeing any particularly memorable. I saw the trailer for American Gigolo, with John Bernthal, and I'm interested. But I didn't love the trailer. Zach, anything that you watched that you saw this week that stands out?
Just Bullet Train again. Very excited to see that. No,
I've not seen a single trailer for that. The way you're going into Rings of Power and House of Dragon, I'm going into Bullet Train.
I will tell you right now. I will tell you right now, though. Do not watch any trailer. Like, even if you're like, maybe I'll watch. Do not watch the latest trailer. You can clearly tell the ending, the middle, and the end, or the beginning.
That's what I assume because it's Sony. I think because Sony, I'm not going to watch their.
Like, I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, oh, this is the same one that I've already seen before. Nope. Shows an action scene. I'm like, that is clearly at the end because of the whole concept. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Why are you showing this awesome action set piece of your movie? But yeah. So.
All right. What's next?
G. Colby asks, how would you rank Phase 4 movies and shows from worst to best after Love and Thunder and Miss Marvel? This is a little bit tough to do off the top of my head. Let me see. I think I did let me see if I can pull up my list. I think I sent myself one for TikTok.
Phase 4. No, this is not what I want.
Oh, I have it on Letterboxd. Give me a second.
Okay, for me, at the bottom, I'm going to have... hang on. These are just the movies.
I'm good. You ready? I can do mine. Okay.
First.
So at the bottom, it's Falcon, Winter Soldier. Next would be What If. Next would be Hawkeye. Then Multiverse of Madness. Then Black Widow. Then Miss Marvel. then the Eternals, then WandaVision, then Shang-Chi, then Loki, then Moon Knight, then Thor: Love and Thunder, then Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I'm trying to. Okay, can you send me your list on Letterboxd so I can have the things that belong to Phase 4?
Mm-hmm.
Because that way I can order them in my own way. Sorry about that, guys. Just a second.
I sent you it through Twitter. I don't know if the private chat would send a link.
No, don't worry. I got it. I assumed you were going to send it on Twitter. Oh, you have the entire MCU thing. I thought
I
it
do,
was just
yeah.
Phase 4. At the bottom for me is going to be What If, then Hawkeye, then The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then Black Widow, then what else am I missing?
Eternals, Doctor Strange, Thor, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Loki, Spider-Man.
Then Ms. Marvel, then WandaVision, then Doctor Strange, then Eternals, then Shang-Chi, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Loki, and Moon Knight at number 1.
And what about Thor?
Thor right before Loki. Right before Spider-Man: No Way Home, sorry.
Okay.
These 4 I'm constantly going back and forth because I'm like, yeah. It's a struggle. First world problem.
Real fast, the next question was from the Film Watcher asking what our favorite Phase 4 project was so far.
Probably Moon Knight or Loki. I'm bouncing back between those two.
Yeah, it's really tough because like Spider-Man's probably mine, but I really loved Moon Knight and what they did just because a lot of bias stuff because of how much I love that character. But I really love Thor: Love and Thunder, man.
Thor: Love and Thunder is beautiful. Beautiful.
So amazing. Dude, my whole workplace like did not like that movie. And I've been like, dude, do you want to hear what one of their arguments was? And if for some reason you guys watch this, I totally understand, but I have to bring this up. He goes, I do not understand how Cap could pick up that hammer and not die from it, but Mighty Jane did. And I'm like,
cancer.
That's what I said. And then he goes, but Steve had all this sickness from beforehand, like before he had the super serum. I'm like, no.
It wasn't a sickness.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We gotta hurry up because we're already past the hour mark. Lady Aaron, were some video game moments that you have either watched or played that made you rage so much that you want to throw a controller across the room and break it?
Yeah.
A lot of times playing Mortal Kombat, that's the one that consistently through the years, through several Mortal Kombats, have gotten me to rage quit. So yeah.
I'll tell a funny story because I like everyone on here. So my parents caught me rage quitting when I was pretty young one time. Like really bad. Like they were. So I got Mafia 2. Love that game. I was trying to get every achievement, so I played it on the hardest difficulty. Had one left on the final mission. But how Mafia is, you die in one hit. That's how it is. One hit, one bullet. That's it. So I was on the final mission,
don't want to play that game.
And my save. The checkpoint it put me on, I got shot every fucking time. Like literally, I could not reload the save without dying. So that means I'd have to replay every fucking thing again. It was on the final mission. So I was just fucking screaming. Like I was so pissed. My parents were not home. And I was really young at this point in time. So like I should not be saying the curse words I was saying. And I was so mad.
Not at that age.
I jumped, and the way my TV was, it was away from my door. I turned around after screaming and like fucking threw the controller, and my parents are in the doorway fucking laughing.
Damn.
And my dad tells me, he goes, if that wasn't the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, I would have grounded the shit out of you. But since it was so funny, you just keep playing your game. And then after that, literally the next life, for some reason the save resaved, and it was like I could just do it. Like I fucking did it
on your side.
Yeah.
The universe. Let me ask you the next one that I have here, because you're the only one who's going to be able to answer it.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the director of Marcel, the Shell with Shoes On, directing the live-action Lilo and Stitch? Are you excited, or do you think that this remake is unnecessary? No movie is ever necessary. I'll give my 2 cents on that part. But overall, Zach?
I've not been excited for this at all. Lilo and Stitch, besides Treasure Planet, is my favorite Disney animation film. I fucking love this movie. I watch it all the time. Like, it's my comfort movie. I adore Lilo and Stitch. So when they announced this, I was like, it's going to be terrible. Then I saw Chip and Dale. And I saw what you can do with visual effects on a Disney Plus original film. Because this is a Disney Plus film. This is not going to theaters. I have a gut feeling they might put it in theaters, but we'll see. With Bob Chapek, it probably won't. Because, I mean, they're putting fucking Pinocchio in there. So, I love this choice. More than anything. And I say that because Marcel the Shell is one of the best films of the year. If you have not watched Marcel the Shell, I cannot, really much cannot say to go watch this film enough. It is finally expanding in the United States a little bit more, so you can go see it now. But it's one of the most heartwarming films. And for Dean to get it, who I haven't really shared this besides private stuff, but Dean is an awesome guy. I posted my review back in April of Marcel the Shell, and Dean watched it and then messaged me, DM'd me on Twitter, and we talked about it, and it was really cool. And the fact that he got Lilo and Stitch just warms my heart a little bit more, because I think that is a great pick for this. And I'm more excited than I ever have been for this remake. I actually believe that it could be good, specifically in the way they do the visual effects, because of how they did Chip and Dale, and now with a great director. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do the movie and how Stitch will look, but I'm excited. So, and Ren will be back. He had to go grab something. But yeah, so we'll jump into the next thing. Because Damian Scott asked, what is the good remake that is just as good as the original film? That's tough. Just as good as the original movie. I don't know off the top of my head. I really don't know. I'd have to really think. Let's see. Great remakes movies. Hey, I moved to the next one, by the way.
I had my headphone on.
Okay, do you have a pick? Because I was trying to think.
I guess question, because I know a lot that are worse than the original. I know a lot that are better than the original. As
Evil Dead. I really like the new Evil Dead.
I don't like
The Departed. Never seen the original. Love the
Infernal Affairs is really good. Western. The remake with Josh Brolin, Matt Damon,
Magnificent.
Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, True Grit.
True Grit. The original is really good. I slightly prefer the remake, but they're very much on par.
You know a movie I've never seen? I didn't even know this was a remake. 12 Monkeys. Never seen that.
I didn't know 12 Monkeys was a remake. I know there's a show after the movie, but okay. Yeah. All right. Lady Aaron, what are your feelings toward the fact that Daniel Kaluuya won't be returning for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever? Daniel Kaluuya is a great actor. I love seeing him, but when you take into account the events of the first film, his character would probably just be in Wakandan jail, so he probably won't be doing much. So I don't think it's a big loss in this specific
I agree.
case.
I didn't even think he was going to be in it. I never even thought for a second he would be in it. So maybe in the Wakandan series that they're doing with Okoye, that would make more sense.
I could see that for sure.
But besides that, nah, I don't really care. This film already has a lot more shit it needs to do. So maybe let's just focus in on that. So, Damian Scott asked, thoughts on the Winnie the Pooh horror movie poster reveal. Did you see it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any strong feelings. I have no.
I'm going to tell you right now, that movie's going to be fucking terrible. It's going to be fucking terrible.
Oh, no doubt. I bet you money I don't have how terrible it is going to be.
As bad as The Room? Do you think it'll be as bad as The Room enjoyable?
But it's just going to be forgettable bad. It's going to be, let me compare it to a bad movie I watch. It's going to be Firestarter bad, you know?
I didn't watch that, and I probably never will.
Firestarter is one of the worst movies I've done. No, it's a bad movie, period. It's as bland as bad movies get, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's as bad as, what else? Metal Lords or Amma. Amma is a good example because it's also horror. So that's a good one. Amma. That's the best comparison I can make right now. It's not gonna be good.
Yep. Your turn, man.
All right, Lady Aaron. Well, we gotta. It's essentially the same question. Thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Will it haunt our childhoods forever? It's a necessary movie. Every movie is a necessary. I don't think it's gonna haunt our childhoods. It's gonna get a kick. It's gonna get a peak in popularity because, oh my god, a horror take on Winnie the Pooh, but it's gonna be shit, and we're gonna forget about it very quickly. Do you want to add anything else, Zach?
No.
All right. Also,
I got one.
Aaron. Yep, go ahead.
Damien Scott also asks, can you name any movie this year that you love but others really hate or just didn't like? Yeah, I have a lot on this one.
Gray Man.
Yeah, dude, so I was gonna say Lightyear. Lightyear, apparently people don't fucking like for some reason. Thor, Love and fucking Thunder. Some people don't like Elvis. That just fucking shocks me. The Gray Man.
That one I can slightly understand. Slightly.
I don't know. I know a lot of people didn't love this one. I know you didn't. Men, I fucking adored, but that's just me. It was right my up alley. Ambulance, another one. Just don't get it. I had a blast with that.
Ambulance is fantastic.
Yeah,
Ambulance is still the pure. Well, not pure because Top Gun is a pure action movie, but the second best pure action movie of the year is Ambulance.
Yeah.
All right. Lady Aaron, recently we heard that the creator of Gremlins, Joe Dante, says that Grogu in The Mandalorian is just shameless ripoff of the design of the Mogwai. What are your thoughts on it? If you've heard about it and looked into it, I didn't look into it. I just read the headlines. I wouldn't say it's a ripoff. I'd say it's a very big improvement because the Gremlins suck, Joe Dante. You've done a lot of good things, but the Gremlins isn't one of them. Gremlins suck. So, Zach, any thoughts?
Well, I just felt attacked because I love the Gremlins, but I'll also say this: didn't Yoda come before the Gremlins, anyways? I mean, it's literally the same fucking character, just with bigger eyes,
That's true.
tinier.
That's true.
So, I said that we were talking about that at dinner last night. And my fiance says, she goes, "Didn't Yoda come before Gremlins?" I'm like, well, yeah, technically, so.
Yeah, good point.
I have one question left,
go.
And then mine's done.
I have many more.
G. Colby asks, who's the director?
End up in time.
G. Colby asks, who's the director with a hit or miss track record, and what is your opinion is their best and worst film? For me, on the top of my head, Robert Rodriguez, his best movie is Sin City, his worst, hands down, Spy Kids 4 or Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I wouldn't even say Rodriguez is a hit and miss director because he's mostly miss. Hit and miss director. I mean, Shyamalan is the one that comes to mind. His best movie is Science. Unbreakable. His worst movie.
It's.
Is it The Happening or is it Lady in the Water?
Or is it Avatar? Or is it Avatar?
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's Avatar. It's Avatar.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say. So for me,
Avatar
I guess
wins, or Avatar
sticking
loses.
with M. Night, who I love M. Night. My favorite Signs. I love Signs, but my least favorite is Avatar because I've never finished it. Or After Earth. Those are the only two movies I will never watch. I will never finish those fucking movies. The Happening I can finish, and Lady in the Water I can finish. The other two I can't.
Yeah, because both Lady in the Water and Signs carry an amount of ridiculousness that is very enjoyable to watch, but they're awful movies.
Exactly.
After Earth and Avatar do not have that enjoyability. Enjoyment, whatever. I'm making up words. Accept it. Joe Fletcher. Thoughts on the sudden Taika Waititi hate on Twitter? I'm so tired of it. Twitter is so fucking dumb. Actually, I'm going to take this off on a tangent. But last week, I was talking to Gico VP because he messaged me about something on Twitter, and we just started chatting. You guys can always reach out to me if you just want to chat about opinions on stuff. And I consider, I'm considering, because Twitter is so not fun nowadays, I'm considering creating like a Discord server, and we can have our community there, share news and topics of discussion while the show is not on air, share my reviews when they go out, share Zach's reviews when they go out, etc. But yeah, that's just on attention. Going back to the question by Joe Fletcher. I honestly believe most people on Twitter are taking anything that Taika said to hate it on him because they don't like Love and Thunder. I agree with you. It's sorry the fact that people can't see when Taika is trolling them. The man has made a career out of trolling people to their face, and he's very successful at it. So I wish him nothing but the best. And what he's done with Thor is sensational. I love it. I love it.
The biggest thing for me is like he did the same thing during Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, same movie, same like discussion. Like he's always been like this.
I mean,
It
the
just
fact that people took the VFX comments he made so seriously, like he's clearly joking in that moment. You know that because particularly in that moment, the VFX looked great.
yeah.
It, look, I will say this because at the same time and around the same time, the thing about VFX artists being overworked and etc., which is not a good thing, and it's not just by Marvel. It's just that Marvel now is the big dog in the yard. Obviously, they're going to use and abuse, but that's a systemic problem in the industry, which doesn't take blame away from them, but they're just. It didn't start now. It didn't start with them, and they're not the only ones. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
But how people took that comment about VFX seriously around the same time that VFX artists came out with how overworked they've been. Timing wise, sure, you can say that joke came out at around the same time, but Taika was not aware of it, and Taika was clearly joking. That's it, people. Don't think about it too much. It's not that deep. That's all I want to say, Zach.
I'm just tired of it. Always happens with every fucking
Twitter is exhausting. No matter what, like anything that gives someone joy, Twitter finds a way to immediately ruin it.
People take that and make their own and like use that. They're like, well, everyone else thinks this. Every time I do an MCU ranking, why you have
they get on the bandwagon?
One, because I like it. Like it's my favorite. Who gives a fuck? Like I know it's not the best movie, but it's my personal favorite. Like that's why, like, dude, anytime someone comments and they're like, this is the wrong ranking. Well, yeah, it's not your ranking. It's my ranking. So it's my right ranking. It's not your ranking. Your ranking could be wrong to me. So, like, same thing with Eternals, man. Like, I still go back and I'm like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm telling you, 10 years from now, people are going to look back on that fucking movie and just in general all Phase 4 and be like, that was a pretty damn good phase. Like, honestly, like, it's not been perfect, but, like, it's the same thing with Phase 1. Like, I remember when the first Captain America and Thor came out, people weren't fucking high on that. Now look at it. Now there's people coming back and being like, those movies are pretty fucking good. Like, I'm so tired of people. I'm so fucking tired of people, man.
All right. Sodium 285. Hey, Ren and Zach. Hope you both had a great week.
Can I share something? I gotta share something because this is just funny, and I know a lot of people in here love Nintendo, but Nintendo tweeted this out this morning and they deleted it, and this is fucking funny. Please share this.
What is that? Hang on. Yum, yum, yum. Nothing feels better than these. What the fuck? All right.
I know everyone. I know there's a lot of people who love Nintendo here, so I had to.
Sodium 285. Hope you two had a great week. You too. Thank you for asking. Some people have been saying that Taika Waititi has gone too far with his style of filmmaking in Thor. He did go too far in Thor Ragnarok, but people are saying he went too far in Thor: Love and Thunder. Kind of like how some people believe Tim Burton had done with Batman Returns. Do you think it's hypocritical and a bit unfair on Waititi? Because I kind of feel that Sam Raimi did the same thing, Spider-Man 2, and Nolan did the same with The Dark Knight. Those are hailed as the two best comic book movies. I don't think it's hypocritical. I think people just complain where they don't like the style of a filmmaker in regards to how it fits with the character. I certainly am not a fan with what Tim Burton with how Tim Burton inserted so much his style with the Batman. That's not a fit. I think people should complain about how fitting it is or not. And Taika Waititi's take definitely fits well with Thor. For me, Burton's doesn't fit with Batman. I never thought Sam Raimi went too far with his take on Spider-Man 2. And Batman is one that you can ground him in reality and it still feels like Batman. So all Nolan did was really ground him in this real world that Nolan is used to directing movies like. And so I don't know if taking it too far into his own style is the right way of putting it, but I would say people are just picking and choosing, but I don't know if hypocritical is the right word because it's a matter of liking a filmmaker style. And because some people don't like Taika Waititi's filmmaking style, they use that as an excuse. So I think they're wrong, but I don't think hypocritical is the word. Zach?
I mean, I agree. I don't really have any more to say. I'm so tired of this backlash on people, and
All right.
I really am tired of it, man. Like after the pandemic, it just seems like it got worse.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, if someone goes off like it's like the Russo brothers made that one comment yesterday about movie theaters, but like I went and found the original the original article, like whatever it's called, the original actual full on interview. It's
Yeah.
not as bad as a comment. Like it sucks when
Yeah.
people just read that one little headline, but they don't watch or read the rest. So
Mhm.
that's just
All right, Sodium 285. Hey, Ren and Zach, has there ever been a time where you have left the fandom of a franchise you love, but eventually came back to it? If so, which one? What made you leave, and what made you come back, if you ever did? I don't think. I also. I'm the kind of person, I don't insert myself into a fandom. I don't go inserting myself into other conversations because I'm an introvert. Despite what I do suggesting otherwise, I'm very much an introvert. I'll share my opinions with people I know I'm comfortable with, but I don't know if I integrate myself into fandoms. So it's tough to say. I don't think I ever left because I don't get too involved with the fandoms, particularly with the side of people I don't know. I'm never pushed away from it, thankfully. Um, so I don't know if that has ever happened to me. I'm sorry because that's a really great question. I wish I had a good story to tell about it, but off the top of my head, I really don't. Zach?
so the Muppets fandom. It was very
Mm,
toxic, and I decided to leave it because Fozzie Bear said a really bad word one time, and I just like, yeah, I can't do that. But I came back, because they got cleaned up and went to Disney, and
okay.
I hope everyone. I'm just joking.
At first, I
No,
thought this was real.
I'm very. I do not give a fuck. Like, if you have an opinion, I will respect it. As dumb as I might think it is, but the opinions I will argue till I'm blue in the face on like my own. Like if someone attacks me on my own, like that's just me. Like The Last of Us became a very toxic fandom after the second part came out, just because people are babies and can't accept a character's death. Like,
Yeah.
but it's so stupid. So, I mean, there's always gonna be toxicity in every fandom. That's just the truth. There always will
More
be
so
DC,
nowadays.
Marvel, Star Wars, and it's more today. Like the Batman. I did a list on TikTok. My top 10 ranking every comic book property from this year. And I had the Batman at my number 1 and Umbrella Academy at my number 3. I fucking loved Umbrella Academy's new season. And a lot of people didn't, and that's fine. And everyone's like, "Oh, Netflix must be paying them. That season sucked. Oh, the Batman's overrated." Why is everyone saying the Batman's overrated now? I thought everyone loved it. I thought we are like all in agreement that this was an amazing movie. Like,
Yep.
why? Why? Because one person said it was overrated on YouTube who probably has a huge following. Like, let's formulate our own opinions. Like, it's kind of something that happens with Star Wars, and this is really what happens with Star Wars is people can't formulate their own opinions. That's just the truth. And Lucasfilm also can't get their shit together, but people can't formulate their own opinions. Like that is a big thing. Like, I'm that fan of Star Wars who I just enjoy Star Wars. Like, it might not all be great, but guess what? Half the fucking franchise sucks. That's just the honest truth. Half the franchise has
Yeah.
issues. But I enjoy it all because it's fucking Star Wars, Like that's just how I am, man. Like,
All right. Sodium 285. What are your top 5 favorite superhero / comic book animated series? For me, X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, X-Men Evolution, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003, and Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. For me, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is right up there. Batman the animated series right up there. X-Men and Spider-Man the animated series as well. Comic book animated shows. Harley Quinn and Invincible still don't quite get on that level because it's been 1 season, well, 2 seasons for Harley Quinn, but overall, Gargoyles is not a comic book one. Otherwise, I'd put it there. If I was to pick a version of the Turtles to put in my top 5, it would be the 2012 show.
Oh, really? I've never seen that one.
The 2012 show is brilliant. It's all on Paramount Plus. That is one that when it started was like, I do not like these designs. once you see it on the show, you get used to them.
Is that the
rather
one that's
quick,
going
but
right
the
now or
stories-
no?
No. That's Rise of the
Wait.
Canadian
2012. I think I've seen
2012. It ended in 2018.
Oh,
17?
yeah, I've seen that one. I like that one.
Yeah. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I hated the animation at first. I remember this.
Yeah, I hated it too, but then you get used to it, and the stories are just so good.
Does
I don't know who I'd put it
My
in
Hero
number
technically count or no?
But if you count My Hero, you have to count anything that comes from a manga. You know.
Okay. I have my 5. So
Yeah,
my
go ahead.
5 would be my number 1's Batman Beyond. Love that series. Number 2 would be the X-Men 90s. 3, 90s Spider-Man. 4, Justice League Unlimited, or just Justice League. I can't really remember what it was called. And then
there was 2 seasons of Justice League, and then it expanded to 3 more seasons of Justice
Okay.
League Unlimited. That's
And
gonna
then
be
my
my
number
5 as well.
My number 5 would either be TMNT 2003 or the Batman the Animated Series. The only reason I have Batman Beyond above that is because Batman Beyond came out when I was really like young, but like I was still like Batman Animated Series had already ended when I was like it ended the year I came to life. So Batman Beyond came out 3 years later. And that's what I grew up with. So I love the animated series. It's arguably better, but Batman Beyond is like my nostalgia.
Sodium 285. What are some superheroes you like/love, but everyone else hates? I don't know. You asked a similar question last week that I unfortunately also couldn't answer because I'm just not aware of what everyone else loves or what everyone else hates in this case. Let me just quickly search superheroes everyone hates. Yeah, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I really don't. Superheroes you like/love, but everyone else hates.
I don't have an answer to this.
Yeah, I really don't either, unfortunately, because I'm just not aware. Like, what does everyone else hate and why? Like, I again, because I'm an introvert, I don't dive into the fandom, so I'm not generally aware of what they think. Were some of your, also from Sodium 285, were some of your most anticipated superhero movies of 2023 Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, and Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated film? I need to see more from that before getting excited, but Seth Rogen has been doing a great job with all his comic book properties.
Really liked what he did with Preacher as well. So.
And I still need to finish Preacher. The Marvels I'm getting more excited about. Aquaman 2 for sure. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse for sure. And Ant-Man. Ant-Man 3.
Ant-Man Quantumania. What's the question? Like, what are most
anticipated comic book movies of 2023?
So I'm only going to do ones for 2023
I got the list. Okay. We got the Flash. We got the Marvels.
I know what I got. So, number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm absolutely
more than
excited for that.
Spider-Verse?
Yes, because the first Spider-Verse is my favorite comic book film of all time. So for me, you have a lot of fucking heavy lifting to do for me to make me love that movie. But that would be my number 2. Number 3 would probably be Aquaman. And then if I was to do 2 more, I'm getting really excited for the Marvels. Ant-Man, I'm getting excited for. I just need to see something from those. Like the second I see Kang the Conqueror, take my money.
Yeah.
Take my money. The Flash, not excited for them. Not excited.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm
Master of Gaming. I'm not going to answer this question, but I'm going to give you the question because you all know my answer. Master of Gaming, which actress would you want to hang out with? Margot Robbie, Gal Gadot, or Scarlett Johansson? You know my answer. Zach, do you want to answer it?
No, because mine's the same answer.
You're engaged.
So.
Yeah.
Well,
you're engaged, so you don't want any of them.
It doesn't mean I want them. I want to hang out with them. Interview them.
No, you don't.
Talk to them about their careers. Be in the next Harley Quinn movie. Or Wonder Woman.
Gico EP, what are your guys' thoughts on VFX artists coming out saying working for Marvel has been the worst, with them feeling overworked and even losing their minds? We addressed this a slight bit. It's not any news. Obviously, because Marvel is the big dog, they use them the most, so they're going to get the most slack, rightfully so. But unfortunately, it's not a new thing. It's a systemic thing that has been haunting filmmaking for years now, so it's got to change.
I'm
Gotta
gonna be
change.
curious to see if anything comes out about Nope, because when Nope did its first test screening, the VFX were like apparently like god awful, and then they just did another one where the VFX were great. So that little bit of periods, people were fucking pushing. So I mean, it's a big industry. Like the VFX artists I've ever talked to, it doesn't sound like they enjoy their job too much anymore.
I live with one.
Yeah.
And last week I went to see Thor: Love and Thunder with someone else who worked on Love and Thunder, and their experience actually was positive from what I was told. But
oh, that's good.
I'm sure not 100% of every single person that works in the VFX industry has constantly negative experiences. But it's just an overall issue, and a constant issue at that.
And everything's backed up now because of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, people got to remember that. Yeah.
Jigo EP, can we talk about Bob Chapek? No, we can't. I'm kidding. I'm going to answer it. With all the talk about how Love and Thunder was still to be under 2 hours, apparently some doubt it was Feige. I can guarantee you it was not Feige. That's all I can say. Who said this, but rather Chapek. Yep, 100%. Even I think Bob Iger came out and said he did. He did. Yeah. Making him CEO is one of the worst things he's ever done. He did. He did. And I tell you why, Disney now finds themselves in this corner where they don't want to fire him. They don't want to create a scandal about firing their CEO because otherwise their stocks will drop more than they are at the moment. That's the only reason they're maintaining him. But I tell you, as soon as they can get rid of Chapek, they will, because apparently nobody likes him at all.
Because the thing is if they didn't re-sign him for till 2025, it would have been a whole... their stock still would have gone down. I have actually heard it was not I heard it was not a Chapek decision, to be honest with you. What I did hear was that it's you know how he hired a bunch of business people.
Yes, it's not a...
So it's still
from the people that Chapek hired. It's of the loyalists. It's of the Chapek loyalists,
So even though it didn't come straight from Chapek, it was
Jigo EP. I'm trying to watch some shows before the Emmys, so even though you probably haven't seen some of them, what are your thoughts on the nominees and who you're rooting for? So we addressed this slightly. I'm not rooting for anyone in particular, but are you, Zach? Are you more invested in these than I am?
I don't care. I just want Better Call Saul to win. That's all I want.
Jigo EP, with all these leaks about Comic-Con, which I know might be a topic next week, funny enough, the day of Comic-Con. By the way, those leaks are... I mean, we're not 100% sure, but we're very confident in the fact that they are not real. They're not real.
Maybe they got some things right, but
that leaked on Reddit was overall not real. Particularly the Blade one, I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I asked around, and they were like, nope.
The second I read the actor, I was like,
yeah. I also doubt they would introduce that character right away in the first.
I agree.
The first Blade movie. For the Marvel Pro, I saw the cast for that was rumored for Fantastic Four. So even though Spielberg has now been revealed to be false, since these are rumors, what do you think of these choices? I didn't read the one particularly about Jamie Foxx. Jamie Dornan or Penn Badgley, but Jigo EP sent me a thing on Twitter. I don't like Penn Badgley whatsoever for Mr. Fantastic. I quite enjoy the Jamie Dornan pick. Amanda Seyfried is an actress I love. I don't see her whatsoever as Sue Storm.
I do. Dude, you want to hear what's funny? So one of my friends, I shared, I texted in our group chat. I was like, dude, I actually really like this fan casting. And he goes and finds an Instagram post that he did back in 2015. And it was Jamie Dornan, Amanda Seyfried, Joe Keery, and
2015? How did he know who the fuck Joe Keery was?
2016, whenever Stranger Things had come out for the first time.
Yeah, 2016.
But his thing one is not in that Reddit, but there's a rumor going around of who might play the Thing.
Who?
I'm not going to tell you the rumor because it might be a leak, but I'll say who's playing him. I'm just not going to say what's the rumor about. Jason Segel. Okay.
I like that. I
do too. And he had that on his fan casting, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
Damn.
like it.
I'm like, dude, if you do this, you gotta post that on Twitter. I'm like, you have to post
Yeah.
that you called that if that's all true.
Joe Curious Torch, I don't dislike it, but it's also not one I'm in love with. Amanda
Mhm.
Seyfried, again, I love her. She's incredible. She'd make a great Jean Grey, for instance, but
Yeah.
she's
I
not
love
Sue
it, dude.
Storm
I love it. I
whatsoever.
love that casting so much.
All right, see, differing opinions right
I
away.
love it.
All right.
Jamie Dornan, though, I love. I
Jamie
fucking
Dornan
love
is a
that.
fantastic. He's also a great choice for Doom if he doesn't get to be Reed Richards. I love him
Yeah.
as
I
either one or
still
the other.
want Jamie Lannister, though, as Doom. Like, that's
He's a great
still
choice.
my number one
Nikolaj
pick.
Coster-Waldau.
Yeah.
All right, Gico AP. I remember asking Patrick and Zach this, but what are some movies you recommend to a family member or friend, but they refuse to watch? I don't know that my parents or friends or sister
Never
ever refused
refused.
to watch the movie because my dad is not too inclined into animation. He'll watch animation if I play it in front of him because I'm like, you're going to actually really like this. He'll watch it. But I don't think I ever had one that people outright refused to. I had a friend who was getting into anime semi recently, and I was like, "You got to watch Dragon Ball. You love Naruto. You're getting into My Hero. You got to watch Dragon Ball." He's never seen Dragon Ball. He's like, "I don't know. I'm not. How many episodes are Dragon Ball?" And I said, "It's 100 something for the first one, 200 for
Yep.
Z, another 100 and something for Super." Then you have GT. You don't have to watch it, but I personally enjoy GT. He's like, that's too much. That's too much. In the meantime, the fucker started watching One Piece, and I'm like, you have no fucking excuse. Watch Dragon Ball, you piece of shit.
One Piece. Yeah, One Piece is a lot.
So yeah,
A lot.
that's one. Chico P, what are you guys' thoughts about the new era of Stuckman in terms of his reviews? If you still watch him, I watch him. I just like seeing him talk about movies because he's clearly passionate. I like that he's found a new niche for himself. Do I prefer the classic reviews of Stuckman? Sure, but I like that he brings something new, more relaxed.
And you can
not
totally tell
structured.
he enjoys it a lot more.
Yeah, true.
So
I agree. With the review so far of The Gray Man being mixed, and it seems like you guys really like it a lot more than critics, as some say it's very cliche and borrows from better action movies, thrillers. We say it's very cliche. That's not a complete knock. Well, the script is very cliche, but
the film,
that's kind of why I go
but
watch these movies.
the movie lays that on itself, though. It's
Yeah,
hard. I mean, spy
exactly.
thrillers have been around since like what, the fucking age of film. So like,
Yeah.
it's hard to
50s,
be
60s.
original. Yeah, it's hard to be original now.
What are
So-
some movies or even shows you simply don't get why critics were so harsh? Not like a movie you disagree with
Thor: Love
them.
and Thunder.
Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. Because some critics really like it. Thor: Love and Thunder is a good example because it seems to be a little bit all over the place. So yeah, that's one. But I'm sure there's others. Well, I think Zach is smoking crack when he says he didn't like the Nicolas Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. But
I did like it. I did like it.
Oh,
I just didn't love
I
it.
thought you
I just
didn't.
didn't love.
Oh,
No, I just didn't
okay.
love the movie. I just don't get why
Okay.
people loved it. I liked it. It was really fun.
Yeah. All right. My bad then.
No.
Joe
you're
Fletcher,
good.
would you guys call yourselves big defenders of Phase 4? If so, I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I don't know if I call myself a big defender because I'm not loyal to the brand. I'm just enjoying it. If I see something I don't enjoy, I'm going to call it out. But I've been enjoying a ton of I've been loving a ton of the things that they've done so far. So I don't know if defender is the right term for me personally. Because again, if they do something shitty, I'll call it out as I see it. If I think it's shitty. Because I'm not loyal.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
that
Disney sends me a check once a month to just make sure that I keep liking the shows and movies. So, you know.
They don't send me a check, by the way. All right. Tobes asks, "Hey Ren, I know you're a big Power Rangers fan. Yeah, think. So I wanted to know who your top 3 favorite Red Rangers are." That's a good question. Tommy Oliver was a Red Ranger, but I don't know if his specific run as Zeo Ranger 5 Red, I would put him in the top 3, maybe top 5. Top 3, I'm a big fan of Tyler Navarro from Dino Charge. Big fan of Tyler Navarro. Wes Collins is probably or Eric. I prefer Eric. But Eric wouldn't have the development he has without Wes. So I'm going to go Wes Collins from Time Force. Number one, I know a lot of people would go with Carter Grayson from Lightspeed Rescue. My number one Red Ranger of all time is by far Leo Colbert from Lost Galaxy, the greatest Red Ranger of all from one of the best seasons of Power Rangers ever. So that's my Zach. Who's your favorite Red Ranger?
The OG one, because that's the only
The
Power
OG.
Ranger show I ever watched.
Jason Scott, Jason Lee
yeah,
Scott.
Yeah, and I love the original. That original series made me a man. It
Mighty
put
Morphin
hair on my
Power Ranger.
fucking chest when I was 6 years old. That's how good that show is.
Last question from GKOP. I don't know. Oh, hang on. I don't know if now it's okay to talk about spoilers for Love and Thunder, but after that second post-credit scenes, okay, spoilers for Love and Thunder. Mute us right now if you haven't seen Love and Thunder. Let me just put the banner up. Spoilers. All right, here it is. After that second post-credit scene, do you guys think they'll bring back Natalie Portman? For me, the post-credit scene didn't come off as a send-off for the character. They wouldn't have shown Jane entering Valhalla unless they're setting up something. It's a little open-ended or leaving the door open for opportunities kind of way. I think it's a balance of both, because I think what they leave there, the way they talk about Valhalla throughout the film and the closure they gave Heimdall, I think it's Jane is at peace kind of thing. She's safe, but like we discussed, I think they're bringing in War of the Realms, and in that story, Jane Foster returns as a Valkyrie. I don't know if they're going to bring her back as a Valkyrie, but she's just going to be back. But I think it could be as a one-time event thing. Like, the doors have opened to Valhalla, so these characters can come in and help our heroes for this one time, but then they have to close the doors again.
And I'll tell you this: if they do that, that will be Chris Hemsworth's swan song. That'll be his final one, because I think
that is the next crossover. It would only be poetic if the next crossover, the final of the big three from the beginning of the MCU, gets to say goodbye.
Yeah, and I think he heads to Valhalla. I think that would be his swan song. So I think it's good setup. I mean, and if they never go back, it's nice.
His story's gonna go to Valhalla.
Yeah. So I like the last one. That first one though.
Yeah. Me too. That first one's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That is it for this week in Geek. We have a lot of good videos right now up on the channel. Go check out the Gray Man review. There's a Ms. Marvel season review. There's a video essay for Thor: Love and Thunder, in case you haven't seen it. A spoiler review for Thor: Love and Thunder. This week, I'm reviewing Green Lantern: Beware My Power. I'm starting my Dragon Ball movie review series, which I can't wait to start out.
Are you doing real fast? Are you only doing canon ones, or
none of them are canon?
I mean, technically,
Dragon Ball Super Broly is canon, so yes.
But are you going to review every single one?
Yeah, animation, yes. I'm not doing that piece of shit that you're thinking about. That
no, I wasn't thinking about that.
Review Revolution? No, I'm not.
I was just curious. Animation. Okay, that's cool. So even Revenge and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I'm reviewing every single Dragon Ball movie starting. I'm looking into starting it this week, so hopefully I can. Apart from that, Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm watching that on Tuesday, so maybe a review will come for that if I like it enough, if I feel like talking about it. But yeah, lots of good stuff right now up on the channel, and lots of good stuff to come. What about you, Zach?
So next week it's gonna be a little bit more of a slower week, just because I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. So expect coverage there. I'm meeting Leo from Geekly Goods for the very first time. Alyssa from Mainly Movies. My best friend Phil's going with me, so he's gonna help me cover it. He's gonna be like my cameraman the entire time. So everyone get your candles out and put my face in the middle of it, and just like pray that I get into Hall H. So other than that, I'm not sure how my coverage will go, because if I don't get into Hall H, I'm gonna go back to my Airbnb and do a live stream of the Marvel reaction to everything kind of coming out. But if not, I'm going to do a live stream right afterwards. So there's a lot of fun things coming out. I'm excited. I might have a Jordan Peele ranking, because I am reviewing Nope this week.
I'm not, because it's not coming out here until August.
Fucking dumb that they did that. But I I might rank it. It just depends if I have time, and I might do a Russo Brothers ranking next Friday because that's when The Gray Man actually comes out on Netflix. But there's 2 films of theirs I haven't seen, and it's kind of hard to get them. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel incomplete if I don't rank them, so I might not do it. So we'll see. Other than that, yeah, that's about it for my week.
All right, everyone. Make sure to go watch any of the videos you haven't yet.
And and our trivia show.
Oh yeah. Wait, what?
We were on trivia thing that went up on Wednesday.
Oh, we're on trivia. We were on trivia the other day. We debuted as a team, so go check out the League of Cinephiles if you want. And that's it. Till the next one. Love each other.